Hello, it's Dendril. Starting off here with my first time playing XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. I started playing XCOM 2 around the time when it came out. Played a lot of it, actually. But by the time the War of the Chosen DLC had come out, I had already moved on to other games. I've been gaming for quite a long time now, about 32 years and counting, which makes me super old, I know. So I recently picked this up on the PlayStation Network for 90% off. I saw that it was $4 as opposed to $40, so I love this game a lot, so I decided, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's jump in here, and I've been wanting to do a let's play video about this game, about any game, for a really long time. So I figured, why not start with this one? It seems to be fate. Game's on sale, I want to do it right around the same time, so it seemed like a good idea. So as I go through, I'm just going to share some strategies and some things that I'm thinking while I'm making the decisions, things about the game, things about the moves I make and why I make them. A lot of these are based on XCOM 2, the original game, but yeah, I will share some. I'm not a veteran player, so I'm going to start on rookie, leaving all the other options alone, including the advanced options, as you can see. I'm just gonna, since it's my first time playing, I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to share some strategies with people that are based mostly on XCOM 2, because they added some new things into the game. Definitely not going to do Iron Man mode, but I will say I'm not going to save scum, because I generally am a save scummer, even as far back as the original XCOM on the PC, and Terror from the Deep, which is just basically XCOM underwater. I used to save scum. But I understand now that both the bad and the good things that happen during the game is what defines the game, which makes my game different from yours and anybody else's that happens to play the game. So I will not talk during cutscenes, so if people want to follow along and follow the story as we go. But as I said, I will offer tips during the actual gameplay itself. So without further ado, we will go ahead and get started. Oh, one more thing. I am not going to mess with any of the optional narrative content here. I'm just going to leave everything as is for the basic experience. As I said, people can follow along with the video, because I know a lot of people like to just watch these videos just for the story. But also I like to add some stuff on top of it too, some tips and tricks, things like that I think up as I go. I'm pretty much somebody who talks during these games anyway, to myself mostly. So I will leave those settings alone, and we shall move on. If enough people like this, I will actually make more videos for this game, and if it is popular enough, I will go on to other games. If you have any ideas, just let me know.
Accessing the feed now. We're in. But I don't know for how long. You seeing this? Way too much security, even for Advent.
That's no ordinary gene therapy clinic. They were telling the truth.
Or they're leading us into a trap. A really obvious trap. We'd need an army to march in there right now.
I've got a better idea. Outrider, this is Central. Go.
Protection. Citizens without a valid exemption accelerated timeline you placed upon us, mistakes are bound to happen.
It wasn't our fault. Please!
There's no need for any of this. I will do what you ask of me. I just need additional time. Did you say something? You're one of those? You must understand, I had no choice. Outrider, report.
So, you do exist. Outrider to Avenger, I have visual confirmation.
Are you sure?
Reapers are always sure.
I'll take your word for it. Cover your tracks and get the hell out of there. They can't know we were here. Yet.
Understood. Now the real war begins.
Excitement continues to build as city centers across the globe prepare for the 20th anniversary of Unification Day.
Thousands line up at the site of the Great Accord, celebrating the formation of the Advent Coalition.
Keeping with their promise to humanity, 12 new gene therapy clinics will be opening in select cities by the end of the new year.
Despite the attempted attack by fringe elements, operations at the new facility in Paris thankfully remain unaffected.
In response to the unprovoked intrusion on the eve of our most beloved celebration, the speaker reaches out to us.
A small number of dissidents again repeat the mistakes of the old world.
Striking as we celebrate a benevolent savior who time and again offers only friendship and compassion.
Yet these trivial actions could never break the bond between humanity and the Elders.
Peacekeeping forces have already made several preemptive arrests of known collaborators. Advent again assures all citizens that today's celebrations will continue as planned.
Perfect.
The Advent administration reminds you to report all suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeper. Only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep gate crasher. 60 seconds. Now.
Signal received. Loud and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
Now that we've got a foothold, it's time to take the fight to Advent. We're heading into the city center to take down a public target. Something that will get people's attention. Neutralize any security forces in the area. Keep your heads down.
So here we're starting the mission that takes the place of the tutorial mission. Sabotage the Advent Monument. The tutorial has you go through and rescue your character, the commander, from Advent. You saw in that previous clip that the Reaper, which is one of the new factions, found the commander and let Central know. RIP Gatecrasher. If you've seen that tutorial, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Both good Gatecrashers, RIP. So in this one, it's just kind of a filler mission to kind of, if you don't do the tutorial, to get you a chance to level up your guys, to get them kills so that you can get to one of the 4 classes, which Grenadier, Sharpshooter, Ranger, and Specialist. So we're loading into the mission here, and I will kind of give some backstory. I will or some thoughts on what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I like to name my characters after either people I personally know or care about. I find that it makes it more impactful when they get hurt and you care more about them. I chose Marvel characters because I'm a huge Marvel fan. And out of the pool, it picked Punisher for one of the operatives, and then Cable, it looks like, also. And then it chose Psylocke, who is my personal favorite Marvel character, and then Deadpool. So this first turn is all about just kind of moving closer to the enemy so we can see where they are. We're in concealment, which is what you get at the beginning of most missions. There we go. Here's 2 of the enemy soldiers. So we want to kind of move our guys close without going into the red squares. Now, if you played the tutorial, you'll know that the game suggested that you put your guys, go one move, put your guys in Overwatch, and then wait for the enemy's turn to move. That doesn't normally apply during concealment because your guys will not shoot if they're in concealment if the enemy moves. Unless the enemy discovers you, they will not shoot. But during a normal turn, they will have you do that. But that is actually a very bad strategy, and I learned that the hard way. After playing over and over and over again the original XCOM 2 that way, I found that I was getting my butt kicked by the aliens left, right, and center. The reason for that is Overwatch, for some reason your guys seem to miss an awful lot during Overwatch. So what I started doing instead was getting my guys doing the one move, getting everybody surrounded around the enemies, and then have one of your guys throw a grenade or some other area of effect attack, and then once the enemy, whoever's left of the enemies, starts moving, then you go to your individual guys, you scroll between them, take their turns, and attack the soldiers one by one. You'll find that not only will you hit more often doing that you'll also end up winning more battles that way than if you use the Overwatch method, which the game pushes on you big time. In the tutorial, it in fact makes you put one of the Gatecrasher guys into Overwatch. But as you'll see in my playthrough, I don't use that strategy unless my characters have nothing else to do, because you don't want to overextend your guys either. You want to move them your one step and then wait, and then have someone else move their one move and wait. That way, if somebody accidentally stumbles across somebody, then you can use the move to fire on those people or move closer. You also don't want to send a soldier off by himself, because if he comes across a pod of enemies, chances are he's going to get shot and or killed, and you definitely don't want that. Here I'm going to use a grenade because we need to get kills, and the chances of them hitting here in the beginning are very, very low. So you'll want to use grenades to try and get your kills. So as you can see, damage. So we killed both of them, and look, our guy got a promotion. So concealment is broken, but he now has a promotion. So that he'll be one of the 4 classes. You don't get to choose which one of the 4 classes your people become. I'm going to move him closer here to uncover the next group of enemies. And here we are. They have an Advent officer, which have a little bit more health and have the ability to mark your soldiers, which just makes it so it's more likely for the other soldiers to hit you, and they will only go after the person who's marked. I want to try and get my guys close enough to use grenades, because shooting at this early in the game, as I had said before, is most likely to miss, because their chances to hit are so low, because you haven't researched any weapons or equipment or anything to make their chances to hit better. As you go through the research tree, you'll find better and better weapons, which will allow you to hit more and more frequently and get more kills. You'll find, if you use the strategy that I've outlined, that you'll be mowing through aliens left, right, and center. That is, if you're playing on the lower difficulties. On the higher difficulties, a different strategy will probably be needed, but I would say it would be the similar strategy, because as far as I understand, the higher difficulties just makes the aliens more likely to hit and more aggressive. So I'm going to have her, since she can't get close enough, I'm going to have her take a shot and let's see if she can hit. Ooh, 45% chance, and she hit. That's RNG, the RNG god smiling down upon her. She now got her rank up. Now I'm going to have him shoot the officer, because that's the only target he has. So even if he hits, he's not going to kill. So as you can see, you just have to keep track of who has gotten a kill and who hasn't. So far it looks like Punisher and Deadpool are the ones who have not got kills. He's got a 25% chance. I'm going to try a grenade. Oh, no, grenade won't hit. Alright. As far as movement, he doesn't look like he can go really anywhere. So I'm just going to take the shot. We'll give it a shot. 25%. No pun intended. He missed. No surprise there. Now the enemy takes a turn. So somebody's probably going to get shot. There goes the officer marking Deadpool. And now that means he's going to take a shot at Deadpool and most likely hit. Oh, we missed. That is surprising. He had him flanked, which is when the enemy is facing you from a direction that doesn't include cover. You get what's called a flanking bonus. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can move Deadpool closer. That says we're in the red, means you're going to be flanked by an enemy, but I'm going to move him here. And if I do things right, I'm going to throw a grenade and kill this guy. Then I won't be flanked anymore, because this is the only guy that's flanking me. And that will also get Deadpool his kill, which, ta-da, promotion earned. So now that leaves only Punisher, who has not gotten a kill. So now I have to work on having him kill the officer himself, who only has 1 HP. So let's give it a shot. And he missed, no surprise there, because he's far, far away. Now, with the other guys, I don't want to get a kill. So what I want to do is don't want them to get shot either, so I'm going to put them in a position where they can not be hurt by the enemy. So I'm going to hide him here and have him hunker down. That way, he won't take an Overwatch shot if the guy moves. Let me move her here. Only half cover. Half cover is not as good as full cover, but I'll have her hunker down as well, which gives you a defensive bonus. And the aliens are less likely to shoot at you if you're in hunker down. They're going to shoot at him. Oh, 4 damage. That is not good. He survived at least, so he's going to end up at the hospital probably a week or so. Probably 2. This game likes to have your guys in the hospital for long periods of time. Let me move him closer, and 46. Grenade. Ah, he's just out of grenade reach. Shoot. Alright. Bang, bang it is. Come on, come on, come on. Yep, he missed. Of course he did. I'm just going to have him hunker down here. Psylocke is just going to hunker down where she is. No, let me move her so she doesn't get flanked. Here we go. I'll have her hunker down over here, because I don't want her taking an Overwatch shot and killing him and denying Punisher his kill. Move him out of harm's way, because I don't want him getting killed. I'll have him hunker down here as well. That yellow square up there that had a 3 on it that just now disappeared, that was loot from one of the soldiers. I wasn't able to get to it in time. Here we go, 27%. Yeah, grenade will just barely reach. Here we go. Bombs away! And he got him. Overwatch is also removed. The guy went into Overwatch. Now, it doesn't matter what you do. All the enemies have been killed. As you can see in the objectives, it says neutralize all enemy targets. We have done that. So now it's whoever can get to the objective first will be the one who plants the X4 charges, and we will move on. So, we'll be able to go on and see how long he's going to be in the hospital because, well, injuries in this game, it seems to be a random number. Also, if it looks like your guy is going to do something stupid, you can set waypoints. So that way she doesn't walk through the fire. But it does reduce the amount she can go because she has to actually go around and not the most expeditious way. Because the game tries to make you draw the straightest line from point to point. And in this case, she would have gone through fire and got lit on fire, which would be kind of silly to walk through fire. So we'll have Deadpool come back over here. On his next turn, he'll plant the X4 charges. He has 2 health left, so he's going to have a very big hospital stay. Let me just switch over. Deadpool, plant the X4 charges, and that will end the mission. So, here we go.
Rendezvous at the extraction point. Status confirmed. Squad is clear. Detonating charges.
Even now, our enemy lurks in the shadows, plotting to destroy all we have built, to return us to the chaos of the old world. Only together can we oppose them. United in the Elder's love for us, we shall prevail, no matter the cost.
Another feature added to the DLC was the enemy reacting to things that you do. You'll see a little video about from the speaker or other people condemning what you just did. And there's our example of a mission photo. As you can see, the 4 of them posed, looking all triumphant and everything, as well as a scroll of the different successes, the things that it tracks. So now we are landing back at base.
Impressive work, Commander. The aliens are probably still wondering what hit them.
Now we're going to promote. Oh, he only got 7 days. Not bad. Not bad. 7 days. We can deal with that. So now let's go ahead and promote, and let's see what Punisher, what class he actually gets. Each one of them is going to be one of the 4, as I was explaining before: Ranger, Specialist, Sharpshooter, or Grenadier. So these are the 4 here. You can't have any duplicates, basically. So you're going to have one of each of the 4 here. So Punisher is going to be our Specialist.
Specialists deploy robotic drones on the battlefield that can be outfitted for combat or field medic duty.
Okay. When you're looking at the ability list, you want to have 2 specialists. One who goes down the battle medic side here on the left, and then you want to have a combat hacker that's completely dedicated to the right side of the screen. Once your squad size actually is able to go up from between to 5 and then eventually to 6. What I usually run is 2 of the sharpshooters and 2 of the specialists, and then 1 of the other, each of the other classes. With him, I usually start off with a combat hacker because I find combat hacking to be a lot more useful. You'll be able to hack some of the machine enemies and turrets later in the game. You can either shut them down or turn them over to your side, thereby giving you more firepower, quite literally in a lot of cases. So also you can see he took a hit to his will, which is another DLC update. As they go on missions, they take damage to their will. If it gets low enough, they end up with negative status effects. Also, you can see he's unbonded and he has a gifted combat intelligence, which we'll get into a little bit more later on. The game actually goes into and explains that. But gifted is actually the highest you can be, and the AP means ability points. Now let's see what the wounded Deadpool ends up with. He is our sharpshooter.
Engage enemy targets with pinpoint accuracy from extreme range. They're also trained in pistol marksmanship for the occasional close encounter.
Which with him, with sharpshooters, what I like to do is pick and choose between the sniper and the gunslinger. There's some actually key gunslinger abilities that are great. There's one where you get a free pistol shot, which basically allows you to shoot twice as long as they're within range. So as I go along, I will show you which skills I pick from the sniper and from the gunslinger side. Mostly on the sniper side, because a lot of the abilities are really, really good, and allow him to sit back and kill people at range, kill aliens.
Serving as our
Cable.
demolitions experts, the Grenadiers provide heavy ordnance delivery whenever and wherever we need it.
Looks like he's going to be our grenadier. So he gets a chain gun and a grenade launcher, which are both good. Here, you want to... Usually, I tend to lean more towards demolitions expert than heavy gunner. There is an ability or two in the heavy gunner side that actually is worth taking over the demolitions expert side. But sometimes it's a matter of choice what role you want your grenadier to serve. And then finally, that means Psylocke is going to end up with our last class, which is...
The Ranger serves as our primary reconnaissance unit, capable of moving independently in concealment while engaging enemies at close range.
So she will be our Ranger class, which is they get a shotgun and a sword. These are the people you're going to use for scouts. So their tree is split between scout, which allows them to move around the map quietly and without being seen in some cases, and then assault has to do with the sword. Mostly, if I have two Rangers, one of them will be mostly scout, and then the second one I'll do the sword side because they do have their uses. The sword side does have its use versus the scout side. If you want to have your one Ranger be a little more go up and stab people, choppy kind of Rangers, then you can do that. But I tend to go more on the scout side to, and you'll find out later. And here
with their squad mates. As they complete combat missions together, their compatibility will grow and can eventually develop into a lasting bond.
This is one of the new DLC additions, soldier compatibility. Basically, like people in real life, when you send them in battle together, they develop a strong bond with each other. Now, also like in real life, certain personalities clash with others. So everybody has a compatibility rating with all the other soldiers. As you can see here, Deadpool and Frank Castle Punisher have a high compatibility, meaning that their chances to have a bond is a lot higher than the other ones. Now we'll check the Deadpool. His is very high with Psylocke, meaning if we send them on missions together, chances are they're going to form a bond. And the bond has 3 levels. Each one has a combat advantage. Let's see about Cable. Oddly enough, he is very high with Cable. So if you know anything about comics, you'll know that Deadpool and Cable have shared many, many comic adventures together. So I think that's kind of interesting. And now finally Psylocke, she's very high with Deadpool also. They've interacted in the comics too. So here we have got an Advent Trooper Corps and an Officer Corps.
Commander, to the
All right,
research lab.
now the game wants us to go over to the research so we can pick our research. It's pretty straightforward, but the game wants you to go here because it has a little
We've been picking up some weird transmissions lately. It sounds a little like German, but it's hard to tell.
Normally in the tutorial, you can't go but to the places it wants you to go, but as you can see, I can go and check everywhere I want to check. But to move the story forward, we actually have to go over to research. So let's go see what Dr. Tigan's doing.
Impressive, isn't it? Capable of generating immense power, yet completely harmless to human life. If only the same could be said for the rest of the aliens' technology. Commander. Dr. Richard Tigan, Chief Science Officer. I am responsible for the entirety of our research here, as well as the procedure you so recently underwent. Welcome to my lab, such as it is. I'm not sure what Central may have told you, but we found something while removing you from the alien stasis suit. A device implanted directly in your occipital lobe. Had I access to the equipment available to me during my tenure at Advent, I would already know the precise nature of its function. However, given time and your approval, of course, Commander, I assure you, I will find out. Which brings to light an additional point. Though aspects of this facility are indeed impressive, I am but one man. Were you to direct additional support personnel and resources to me, I could substantially improve the speed of all our research. Farewell, Commander.
And now we get a chance to pick which research topic we're going to go to. This is going to be one of the most important sections for you as far as getting ahead and catching up to the aliens who start out way, way far ahead of you technology-wise. This is where you're going to spend most of your time as far as getting better at the game. Now, personally, I would recommend either doing psionics or weapons over armor. Armor should be secondary, because if you're playing correctly and using the strategies that I've talked about, the weapons are going to be more useful to you in the end. So I usually like to start off with a weapon and then get psionics as soon as you can, because a psionic soldier can be a game changer. So now here we have modular weapons, hybrid materials. The game during the tutorial forces you to do the alien biotech research, which you don't have to do since we didn't do the tutorial. The experimental weapons are the ones that are found in the Alien Hunter DLC, which we will do eventually. That's your hybrid materials leads to armor, which, as I said before, we're not really going to focus on. We'll get to that eventually, but first we're going to start off with modular weapons. That allows us to take any add-ons that we find in the field or that you can buy from the black market, more on that later. You can attach them to your weapons to make it easier for guys to hit, do more damage, have a bigger clip size, things like that. But you can't do any of that until you finish the modular weapon research. So I would recommend doing the modular research first. You can go experimental weapons if you've played the Alien Hunter DLC and you like the weapons that you get from the mini bosses on those, the 3 different mini bosses. And conversely, there's 3 different weapons you can get from that. So I'm choosing modular weapons.
We'll begin work immediately. I'll send word when a complete report is available.
Because, as I said, weapons are more important.
But there is one thing I miss more than my lab equipment. Those damn juicy Advent burgers. I don't know where they get the meat. And frankly, I do not want to know.
Thank you, Dr. Tigan, for that brilliant insight about Advent burgers. Now you make me think about Soylent Green, because it's made from people. So, yeah, you're a cannibal now, Tigan. Congratulations. Now we need to go to engineering and check in with Shen for the next scene.
Okay, reworked your repulsors with some of the parts I salvaged from their old engine. Should fix that stabilization problem you had. Come on, Rover. It'll work. Commander! Getting our tech to talk to theirs is harder than you'd think. Lily Shen, Chief Engineer, at your service. You were probably expecting to see my father. In all that's happened, I'm guessing Central didn't tell you yet. He's gone. Dad gave everything he had to get us this far. This entire ship is his life's work. I know he would have loved to show you around the place himself. He used to talk about you a lot. You can be sure I'm ready to finish what he started. Might not look it, but from here, I can fabricate pretty much anything you come up with. And with a little more help, well, you'd be amazed with what I can do. It was an honor to finally meet you, Commander.
Okay, now that we've checked in with Shin, this is where you're going to build most of your items and your facilities. You can do that from the screen. The game, when you're doing the tutorial, wants you to make a med kit. Now that we didn't do the tutorial,
Manufacture anything we need in no time.
yes, we understand, Shin. So, as I was saying, since you can do the med kit like they suggest in the tutorial, but here at the beginning of the game, it's not really all that useful because if your guys get shot, they're either going to die or end up in the hospital for a long time. So before you get armor, it's not really relevant. What is relevant, however, is the flashbang grenade, which has a lot of uses. When I first played the game, I didn't pay them much mind, but then on subsequent playthroughs, I decided to give them a try and see, if they actually were worth it. And it turns out they indeed are worth it. What the flashbang does is it disorients enemies, which makes it so they can't use their special abilities, and also makes them less likely to hit you. Now, it's even doubly beneficial when you're up against a sectoid. If a sectoid has raised a psi zombie or has mind-controlled one of your people, you flashbang that sectoid, and the psi zombie automatically dies, and any mental effects that the sectoid has visited upon your soldiers is immediately broken. And it also prevents the sectoid from doing it again until the disorientation ends, which usually lasts 2, maybe 3 turns. It all depends. So flashbangs are very useful. I would say they're right behind your regular grenades as far as usefulness. I always try to have at least one member with one on him. And generally I choose the ranger, since the ranger is usually the one running forward and possibly getting himself in trouble, or herself. That way he can throw the flashbang and then kind of run away if necessary while the enemies are disoriented. So I made one flashbang that I'm going to put on the team. As I said, either the ranger or the specialist. The specialist is a good place to have it as well, because mostly, as far as shooting, specialists aren't very good at that. They're more useful for what their little gremlins can do, which so that makes a good place for you to put the flashbangs. Also, later on, when you get the better armor, you'll have multiple slots, so you can have more than one of your people have a flashbang and an item that helps their particular class.
For a few years before linking up with Central, right?
Yes, one of the advantages of working with Advent. On the surface, it was very comfortable, but there was a price for that comfort.
The millions of people in those cities don't seem to mind all that much.
Yes.
Super intriguing, you two.
Always watching. Between their forces and the aliens themselves, they see everything. Not to mention the automated systems. There's nothing quite like providing identification to a lamppost.
Wow, they talk almost as much as I do. The tutorial makes you have to dig a room out to start off with, but the game, since you didn't do the tutorial, gives us a free room right here in the middle of the ship. So looks like we have the supplies. I'm gonna see what facilities we can build. Looks like a power relay in the Guerrilla Tactics School. We don't need the power relay right now because we have 6 to 15 power. The Guerrilla Tactics School is one of the most useful buildings in the entire game, so you should try to build that as fast as you possibly can. It allows you to add benefits to your soldiers, as well as go up to 5 and then 6 soldiers in your team. The training center is also a DLC building that was added. It takes place at the AWC. We can't build that at this time, but that is definitely another important building that you want to build, because the AWC was split between the training center and the infirmary, which we don't have access to now, but we will later on. The infirmary allows you to heal your troops faster, which is part of what the AWC did in the base game. whereas the training center takes over the other part as far as giving a bonus to people. So we're going to go ahead and start the Guerrilla Tactics School, even though we don't have an engineer, which means it's going to be 14 days, but it's worth it. It's worth it to go ahead and get it started. When I get an engineer, I'll go ahead and put him on there to help. Any other engineers you have, you should put onto clearing out more rooms in the Avenger, or helping build any of the buildings. Well, I say buildings even though we're inside a ship, but you know what I mean, facilities, I guess is the word the game uses. So we're down to 20 supplies. As you can see, we have no engineers or scientists.
Commander, good to see you on your feet again. Welcome to the bridge, the nerve center of our operation. The aliens have our entire world in their grip. Advent controls everything. Government, communications, industry, not to mention the military. And it's on us to take it all back. Resources and time are tight, Commander. It'll be up to you to decide how to best use both. The ship is yours.
Commander, we're attempting contact with a local resistance faction known as the Reapers. These people like to keep a very low profile, so it may take some time before we hear back. While we're waiting, it might be worthwhile to scan the area for additional supplies and resources. You never know what we may find out there. Commander, one of our resistance contacts just tipped us off to a site that may be worth investigating.
Now we're out here on the geoscape. We have our first thing we can investigate, which is a battlefield, which will take 5 days and will get us some supplies. These are places on the map that you can forward time, but also get a benefit from doing so that you have time for your research and other things. So we're going to go ahead and start the scanning on that.
Commander, the Avengers' remote scanning capabilities will help us search the area for clues or other resources. It's going to take some time, though. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
As Central basically just described to you. The Resistance detected activity of interest. If the Avenger scans the area, can investigate these reports. So let's go ahead and skip our days.
We have made a number.
And now, as you can see, our modular weapon research has been completed. So we're going to go ahead and assign new research. You get a report of his findings on the right-hand side. In this case, if it's weapons or equipment, it's usually Shen who gives you the report. But it unlocks magnetic weapons and the ability to use any weapon upgrades you find in the field off of alien drops. Just know that if you use grenades, you will destroy those alien drops, so you have to be careful where you use the grenades. You can read the full report here from Shen if you would like. On this screen, you can see we have 0 scientists, so Tygan's all by himself. So here we have what's been unlocked, the weapon upgrades, so we can now slap those shiny drops that we find so our soldiers don't suck. Now here's another one of the DLC add-ons.
Another potential avenue of study. However, if we are to proceed down this path, we must do so immediately, or I fear we will lose our opportunity to return to it in the future.
What they call technology breakthroughs. It's a benefit that you can get if you do it right now, though. So you have to abandon any other research to get these. It usually takes a short amount of time, 4 or 5 days. As you can see here, it's a breakthrough, 5 days to get +1 damage to your cannons, which is for one specific weapon for one specific class. In my opinion, these are not worth it. It's a very small benefit, and it takes time away. That's 5 days that you could put towards one of the other weapons or upgrades, which are going to be useful for more than just one kind of soldier. So I honestly am not going to do the breakthrough. I'm not going to do it. As you can see, magnetic weapons takes 28 days. The experimental weapons only takes 10 days. You can start the magnetic weapons if you want, though I would recommend it because right now at the beginning of the game, 28 days is an eternity. You could also do the hybrid materials, which will start marching you down towards getting the armor. But as I said before, the armor is not as useful. There's also the story research, which is this alien biotech, which only takes 5 days. So we'll go ahead and choose this one to get the story moving along, and it only takes 5 days. So that'll get us back where we are. As you can see, we have 11 days left on the Guerrilla Tactics School, so we'll go back out to the Geoscape and continue our scanning to see. And now we're done with our scanning. Our reward is going to be 60 supplies, which are very useful, which unlocks another place to scan. In this case, it's 8 days, and you get an engineer. If you have a choice between engineer, scientist, or money, always choose an engineer. They're worth their weight in gold if you're actually going to weigh a person. But engineers have infinitely more uses than scientists do. Oh, here we go.
We'll have a better chance of finding openings to strike back at Advent. As it is, we've already identified a potential target to disrupt the aliens' operations in this region. Our window of opportunity is limited, so we'll have to move fast.
We get our first guerrilla op. As you unlock more and more of the map, you'll have a choice between 3 different missions, so you can choose what benefit you want to get. In this case, since we're just starting the game, we only have the one target. So we're going to have to stop our side scanning to go to this target site. Looks like we will get an engineer off of this one. Difficulty is easy, and all we have to do is sabotage the transmitter. So, as I said before, engineers are one of the most useful things besides your soldiers, obviously. So if this goes right, we'll complete this, get an engineer, and then when we come back, we can come out and scan, and we'll be able to get another engineer. So we'll actually be ahead of the game with 2 engineers, which, as I said before, engineers are the most useful besides your soldiers. So here we go. Here's our 4 people. We had to substitute someone for Cable since he still has not gotten out of the hospital. So as you can see, I have Jean Grey, aka Phoenix. Again, huge Marvel comic fan, so of course I'm going to choose Marvel characters. And she starts out as a rookie, which means she does not have a class yet. So what you can do here is you can go with these guys to get them some more kills, get them some more levels, or you can put in some rookies to go ahead and get some more people experience. But as I said before, the rookies, you don't get to choose what class when you send them out into the field. You don't choose when they get their kill what class they become. So if you want more control over it, I would recommend waiting until you get the training center where you can train anybody to whatever class you need. Because I try personally to have at least 2 of every class, so then when one is injured, you swap the other guy in and you can still accomplish your mission. Another DLC addition is along the bottom. You can see the green bar. That is their will. If you send people on missions too many times in a row, they get what's called tired. That bar shows you how much mental fatigue they've suffered through missions. You'll see if one of them has the tired thing, because when you look at their sheet, it will say tired so many days. That's how many days until the status is gone. If you can push your tired soldiers, but they're likely to get mental effects. What I mean by that is there's one where your guy could get a phobia of, say, sectoids, so that every time your soldier sees a sectoid, he freaks out and runs away and panics or shoots wildly or whatever, the RNG gods decide that he does. So you want to avoid those when at all possible. So right now I'm just gonna stick with what works. And as you can see, as I was saying before, his will is actually, he's lost some because of the first mission. Because, well, apparently I guess Cable's a pansy. Not like in the comics. So I'm going to keep the people like this so that they can build that bond between each other as well. So it benefits you to send 2 people together on the mission, as I said before, because of the new bonding addition through the DLC.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Menace ready to deploy.
Our readings indicate that Advent just powered up some kind of psionic transmitter in this area. And if they're assuming no one knows about it yet, it shouldn't be that well guarded. If we can take it down quickly, Advent's operations across this entire region will be in disarray.
So here is our next mission. Sabotage the psionic transmitter. Our objectives are to plant an X4 charge to destroy the psionic network and prevent it from transmitting, completing the transmission, excuse me. So we'll go ahead and get this mission started. I'll explain more about the mission as we go.
Advent has constructed a psionic transmitter in this area, tied directly into their primary network. Our intel suggests destroying it while it's still connected will severely damage their linked systems. Plant the explosives before they have a chance to pull the plug.
This will be our first timed mission. As you can see, we only have 5 turns until the network does its thing. You automatically will fail the mission if you let that timer count down. Don't let that actually push you to make a mistake. Yes, you have to move a little bit faster, but you also don't want to move too fast that you jeopardize your squad members. You don't want to get anybody killed. So just keep the timer in the back of your mind, and let it motivate you to keep moving, but don't let it push you too far. We start out with a concealed position. Normally I like to send the ranger out first to kind of scout ahead and see what's what, because that's more the ranger's style. Their weapons are basically close-up weapons, so I'm going to go ahead and move her here.
Objective position confirmed.
Our readings
Now what?
indicate that relay is feeding energy directly into their network. If you can destroy it, it may disrupt their efforts to isolate the transmitter.
Those mini transmitters, you can shoot them. It will actually slow the timer down for every one that you shoot. I believe it adds 2 turns back to your timer. So if you find yourself getting low on time, just destroy one. There are several throughout the mission, so the mission really isn't all that difficult. I'm going to send those people this way, and then I'm going to send the other 2 here to go that way, so we can cover more ground. I can guarantee you between here and there we're going to have aliens. You should prioritize the aliens over the transmitter because you can shoot the mini transmitters to buy yourself some more time. So your biggest threat is going to be, voila.
Sectoids first encountered during the invasion. Their genetic structure now includes human DNA. They are stronger than ever.
So now we have our first view of a sectoid. As you can see, going any closer, we're actually going to be seen and break concealment, but I'm going to go ahead and move him here. As I said, I'm not going to enter Overwatch. I'm going to go to the next person because I was explaining my strategy before. Let me have him move here. And, oh, we've been spotted. I miscalculated on that one, so now the aliens have seen us. So concealment is broken. So now we're going to have to deal with these a lot more quickly than I wanted to. I'm going to fire a grenade to not only destroy their cover, but to also do some damage to them if I can manage it. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to go around the corner. Let me see. Punisher can throw a grenade. Here we go. Let's see. Let's kill this guy and open a hole up so we can shoot the sectoid. Right there should be good. Boom! Go Punisher. Okay, now I'll see if he can hit the sectoid. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the... Ooh, here we go. I should be able to get the angle here now that he blew a hole open. So... sectoids are dangerous, but soldiers are more dangerous. They have guns. You can't resist bullets. But you can resist their mind powers. So, now I've exposed the sectoid. I'm going to still continue to move these 2 over this way. And see what's over here. Now I can go ahead and destroy one of the transmitters just to show you what happens. As you can see here, it added 2 turns to our timer. So if you find yourself getting low on time, it's just a simple matter of destroying the one of the little mini transmitters. Let me move her here, see if we can possibly get a kill with her. She can't even see the sectoid. She can't see the sectoid, which means she can't help, but I'll go ahead and put her into Overwatch in case the sectoid moves. Normally I don't do Overwatch, but in this instance I'm going to. Here he goes, trying a mind ability on my guy. Oh, he tried to mind control, but see, he resisted. Punisher, you can't mind control the Punisher. He's tough as they come. Alright, let's see. Do we want to shoot a transmitter? Yeah, let's shoot a transmitter, why not? He doesn't really have a shot on the sectoid. Now, I'm gonna try and shoot him here. And oh look, good old RNG. I missed standing literally right next to the sectoid. That's one of the more infuriating parts of the game, is you can literally stand next to an alien and still miss. So let me bring her here to see if she can take him out with a grenade. That's a common theme you're going to see throughout these early playthroughs. You'll see me throwing grenades because, well, it's guaranteed damage, and as I was saying before, your chances to hit with these weapons of the new rookies / squaddies is very, very low. So you got to get the kills in wherever you can. Let me see if she can kill him with a grenade. Looks like she should, and not be able to hurt my guy in the process, because you definitely don't want to do that. And down he goes. That's one dead sectoid. So, alright, now we have less of a threat. There are no aliens to worry about at the moment, so we can go ahead and move our guys forward till we find the next pod of aliens. We have a transmitter there. You can't see that, but I shot the transmitter to add 2 more turns onto it, because there was no aliens to shoot. So let me see. We have Cable go over this way. Uses both of his turns, but I want both of these guys to come this way so we can come at the aliens from 2 separate directions. Have her come over here, and let's see what I want to do with her. It's a turn-based game, so you have as much time as you want to think through your decisions and make sure you're making the right one. So take all the time you need to really, really think about these people. That will get her full cover, but she'll have to use both of her moves, which that's okay. Full cover is preferable to half cover. Ooh, explosion. Looks like the building's coming down around us. Alright, let me have Frank move over this way. Punisher, great character. Alright. Not gonna go into Overwatch like the game suggests. I'm just gonna hold his turn. Now let's come over here. Cable, have him come here. Hold his turn. Psylocke, we'll have her move here. There we go. So she's covering the door, but that gives her full cover as well. Now let's take her turn, have her come this way as well. I'm not bothering with shooting any of the transmitters because, as you can see, I have 7 turns. That's more than enough time to get the main transmitter destroyed. So this is all the time I'm going to have for this particular video. I'm going to go ahead and save and stop here. The next video I post, I will pick up where this one leaves off. So if you're following along, you won't lose where we are in the story. I've been Dendril. I thank everyone so much for watching. If you can, just go ahead and keep an eye out for the next video, and we'll continue this XCOM 2 story. It promises to be a good time watching a game that is great. Bye for now.